Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be doing a video fully focused on this beautiful notebook you see right here. This is my YouTube notebook and I briefly mentioned this guy in last week's video and I thought it'd be fun to go over this notebook in a bit more depth and flip through it so you guys can see how I've set this up. Besides flipping through this notebook, which is obviously kind of the focus of today and probably why you guys came to see this video, I do want to talk a little bit about what I use this notebook for, why I find this type of notebook works really well for what I'm doing in it, as well as how I use this notebook alongside my bullet journal and how they complement each other very nicely. So that is what we're going to be focusing on today. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe if that's what you're feeling, and without further ado, let's get into the flip through. So in case you missed my last video where I introduced this notebook is for all of my YouTube related planning and organization. I wouldn't consider this notebook a planner necessarily. I do plan one thing in this notebook, which is my monthly video schedule. Besides that, it mostly just contains notes and analytics. So it is definitely more of a notebook than a planner. And because it's a notebook and it's holding a lot of different notes on different topics, I find having this disc-bound system is a really great way to categorize and organize those notes so they have a little more structure to them. So it's not just this mishmash of information. If you've never seen a notebook like this before, this is called a disc-bound notebook. All of the pages have this little like half moon shaped punch, and what that does is it allows pages to fit into these discs and you can turn the page really easily. But if you want, you can also remove it from the discs and take it out and rearrange stuff. So it's kind of like a traditional spiral bound notebook, but you have the ability to actually remove pages and move things around, which makes it really easy to customize and organize this notebook exactly how you would want it. And that's why I love using this notebook for notes, because it's so easy to have categories and your notes all in the right place so that it's all organized and easy to get through. So since I just mentioned the discs, I'll go into quickly what my discs are in this notebook. These are 1-inch Levenger, I think it's called their Circa discs, in the rose gold color. Besides being able to remove and rearrange pages, another great thing about this type of notebook is you can pick how big you want your discs to be, and the bigger diameter, so this is what the measurement is referring to. These are 1-inch discs across, not like a 1-inch radius. The bigger discs you get, the more pages you can fit into your notebook. Same with having smaller discs, you have less pages, so it might be a bit more portable. Opening up my notebook, I have a front and a back cover for this notebook, and as you can see, it's by the ARC brand. I just got this at my local Staples, and I can't really find it online, but if you go into the store, it's usually in the section with all the ARC notebooks, and it's just a clear frosted cover, which I like. It's durable, it does the job. And then when you open up here, you have a cardstock pocket. All of my pockets and dividers are by the brand Cloth and Paper. I think they're actually on sale right now, which is kind of nice. They also make really nice durable plastic tabs, which are a lot thinner. Even though I have these tabs and I'm using them because I have them, I would actually recommend checking out the plastic tabs because they are a lot more thinner, so they're not going to bulk up your notebook as much as these will. So this front pocket has two things in it. Well, I guess three. The first thing I have at the front here is sticky notes, which are these. These are also by Cloth and Paper. These are some marble sticky notes. And they don't actually sell these anymore, unfortunately, but they do have a ton of other sticky notes, so I'm sure you could find one that you like. And I have this card here with this paper clip. This was actually just a freebie that came in one of their orders that I got from them. And the card, I guess, is decorative, but I do like to keep some sticky notes in the front pocket just in case I need to jot something down and I want to stick it in a page. It's really easy to grab. Besides these sticky notes, I don't really use a lot of other stuff in my notebook. I mainly use this pen, which is a Muji 0.5 gel pen, and I also use one Tombow dual brush pen marker, which I'll show you guys later. The bulk of my notebook is split into 2 sections, and that's based off of the 2 sets of dividers that I have in here. The first set of dividers has my schedule, lists, goals, financial information, ideas, and then a spot for extra paper. And then the second section is organized by month, and this is where I like to separate and file my video outlines. The first tab is schedule, and what I use this for is what videos were posted during the month, so I can have a log of what went up and what some general analytics for the month were. So the first 2 pages that you see here is where I like to record my growth. So I just have a couple numbers on how many subscribers I've increased throughout the month. I mainly like to record analytics so that I can use those analytics to figure out what kind of content you guys are liking, so then I can make more of it, so then I can make you guys more stuff that you're interested in. I will mention all of the inserts I have in this notebook are by Peanuts Planner Co. They are actually from her Facebook group, so these are all freebies, and it's really easy to print these. I also like this size because 2 sheets of inserts, oh, there we go, is actually, oh, I took out 2 pages there. This is actually a letter piece of paper. So when you print it out, all you have to do to get it in the notebook is slice it down the middle. So I slice it down at the 5.5 inch mark with a paper trimmer. And then I just use my arc punch, which I got from Staples, to punch them, and then I put it in. Unlike other inserts where you do have to cut them down quite a bit, these are really easy to cut and prepare because you literally just cut 1 line and you punch them once and then it's done, which I really like because I don't like spending a lot of time preparing inserts. After these 2 pages, we go into the monthly spread. This is just an area for me to track which videos I posted during the month and some brief monthly analytics. And I just have those on another sticky note by Cloth and Paper. The marker I like to use here to just highlight new videos is by Tombow. It's their dual brush pen in the color 990, which I really like because it kind of matches the tabs, which is nice. And I just have these monthly pages all here, and they go all the way to December, as you can see. I was a bit lazy when I printed these out and I didn't print them double-sided, so there is kind of a blank layout in between each one, but it doesn't really bother me. So that is the schedule section. In the memos section, I just have random lists that I want to keep track of. If I get a couple ideas, I just prefer to write them down because I will definitely forget them. So yeah, I just make simple lists. None of my spreads in this notebook are elaborate at all. They're very simple and they're not decorative. I just kind of want to get information on the page, and that's what this notebook is for. It's not meant to be anything fancy. Then I have my goals section, which I keep goals for my YouTube channel as well as my Instagram, but I think I'll keep those private if you guys don't mind. I also like to include accomplishments that I've accomplished in 2020 at the back of this tab as well, and I just find that's a really good way to celebrate things you've done and kind of have that nice moment of recognition for yourself. And then the finance tab, I don't really have much in here right now. Once I do get monetized, I will probably record just some general monthly earnings in here. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, just like a bit of information on that so that I can track it more easily. And then we get into the ideas section. The ideas section is where I like to record video ideas. I just use these note pages from ARC because they came with the notebook. I don't know why I didn't use my regular note paper, but you know what? A note page is a note page, right? So I like to categorize my video ideas based on topics I like to focus on in my channel. So this is the planning topic. I also have, I don't want to show you guys all of the ideas because that might just kind of spoil quite a few videos, but I have planning, flip-throughs, setups, journaling, and miscellaneous. When I complete a video, I check it off, and when I think of a new video, I write it down here. I like to go through these at the beginning of the month when I'm planning out my content so that I can figure out which videos I want to do and make sure that I'm getting a good variety of topics and I'm not just focusing on one thing. So the MISC tab really doesn't have anything. I just keep my note paper here, the extra note paper. All my note paper kind of looks like this. One side is lined, one side is blank, and that's because I was lazy and printed them single-sided instead of double-sided. But it works just as well, so it doesn't really bother me. So going into this section, these are monthly tabs. They go all the way from January to December, and in each monthly tab, I record my content plan for the month, as well as video outlines for videos that I'm releasing during that month. So I will show you May, since May will be over when you see this video. At the beginning of each section, I have a page on what videos I want to film and what videos I want to release every week, because I do put out a video every Friday at 11 a.m. You're seeing this on Tuesday because it's a bonus video, but normally, and this Friday as well, you guys will see a video at 11 a.m. And I think that one is actually going to be, oh yeah, it's going to be my memory keeping journal setup and flip through. So I'm excited to show you guys that. But pretty much for planning out my videos, I don't really do too much. I pretty much like to write out my video ideas on sticky tabs like this, and then place them under the weeks I think I'm going to be releasing them. I like to write them on tabs instead of on the page because sometimes videos will change and then it's easy to switch them versus writing them down and then crossing them out. Every month I like to do a plan with me, and every month I like to do a flip through. And those videos don't really change as of right now, so I just wrote monthly plan with me and monthly flip through on these tabs because I plan to just carry them over to every month instead of rewriting the sticky tab. And that'll just save some paper, which is nice. But yeah, that's what I kind of start the beginning of the month with, just so I can figure out what I want to have done for the month and what my schedule is looking like. And then once a video is uploaded and released, I check it off. I also just record some notes at the bottom because I have space. And then after that, I go straight into video outlines. So I am by no means I was gonna say professional, but I feel like that's even highballing it a bit. I have literally no experience in videography, cinematography, home videography. So this is what I do. I don't know if this is the right way to do it. It probably isn't, but this is what I do. So this is what my outlines look like for all my videos. It depends on the type of video, how intense this is. For this video, I was going over a notebook and reviewing a notebook. So for something like that, there's a lot of different details I need to cover and things I need to remember, like price, a lot of different like subtopics I need to make sure I'm hitting within the video, so that's not like an hour long. So this outline's pretty extensive. At the beginning of the page, I write the title of the video and the date that it's going to be released. So this was released May 15th. First, what I like to do is do a brainstorm of the topics I want to cover, and I'll do this in just like a bullet point style, and then I'll go through and number them the order that I want to go through them in the video, just so I can start to figure out what the structure and the flow is going to be like. Once I've figured out the general outline or like the structure of the video, I'll sometimes go in and make it a bit more formal and go over things in more detail. And then what I'll do is I'll make my B-roll and overlay list. I find B-roll and overlays really transform your videos and make them a lot more interesting for people to watch. So it's something that I really like to invest time into and put time into because I think it makes a big difference. I have the memory of a grasshopper, so I need to write down all the overlays I plan to do, or else I won't remember them and then they won't happen. So that's why this list is so long. The codes that you see here stand for OL, overlay, and B for B-roll. And then if you see up here, the P beside overlay stands for a partial overlay, which is a term I made up. I'm gonna put one up right here so you guys can see. Versus a COL, that's a full overlay. I make them in Canva, so that's why I use the letter C. So here's an example of that right now. Here it is. Love it. Great. Okay, moving on. I also wanted to mention I like to do my bigger overlays, the full overlays in black, because I really like dark mode on my computer, and I liked how when I did it with black, it kind of like resembled dark mode. I don't know. I just thought that was really fun, and I was really into that. So That's why the overlay is black there. If you want a different color, let me know and maybe I'll change it, but I really do love dark mode, so we'll see. So besides the overlays, I'll write down B-roll and then I'll just go through and check it off as I do it. And then the other thing that I like to do in my outlines before moving on to another video and completing it is at the end of the video, when it's been cut and uploaded to YouTube, I like to go through and do some keyword research so that I can form a title that is going to rank well so that people can actually see it. And then I'll also use keywords that I maybe didn't use in the title for tags at the bottom of the video description, and that just helps with visibility as well. And then I'll also go in and I'll brainstorm a couple titles if I want to. Sometimes the title comes right away. Most of the time it takes like 3 tries because I always tend to make my titles a bit too long, so I always have to cut them down. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have in this section. I just have a bunch of outlines. Here's another outline. I'll show you actually the outline for this video in case you're curious to see what it looks like right now. So it's actually not in this notebook. I completely forgot about this because, and this is another thing I love about this notebook, I actually have it right here. So when I'm filming my videos, I'll actually take out my outline and put it on the table beside me, and then I can reference it really easily while filming. And that's actually a really big reason as to why I have a whole notebook for this versus my bullet journal, but I'll go into that later. Going back to the outline, this is what this outline looks like. Right now I just have a brainstorm of what topics I want to cover. So right now we are about here in the outline. I've gone through all these things, and then now, segueing very nicely into the final topic, I'm going to be taking you guys through how I use this notebook with my bullet journal. Now, wasn't that such a natural segue, eh? Oh my gosh, I think my Canadian side came out there. So, how do I use this notebook in addition to my bullet journal? I think a lot of people have questions when it comes to using multiple notebooks and multiple planners. I want to start by saying I do not use multiple planners. I cannot use multiple planners. It doesn't work for me because it just confuses my brain too much. The only reason why I do use this notebook alongside my bullet journal is because I make videos on my bullet journal. So if I'm writing an outline in my bullet journal, I can't reference it because I'm filming a video in my bullet journal. So then I'd have to be flipping back and forth. That just really didn't work. So that's why I use this notebook, because I can keep my outlines separate and it's a lot easier. How I was able to make this notebook work alongside my bullet journal was making sure that nothing planning-wise or information-wise overlapped. So even though I plan out the general videos that I'm going to be putting out this month, I don't do any planning in this notebook on when I'm gonna film the video, when am I gonna shoot B-roll, when am I gonna do my rough cut, when am I gonna do my final cut, when am I gonna do my voiceover. All of that planning is done in my planner, in my notebook, my bullet journal. So nothing is overlapping in these notebooks. I know that when I want to write a video outline, it's in here. When I want to write down what videos I'm doing for the month of June, it's in here. When I want to write down a video idea, it's in here. When I want to write down monthly analytics, also in here. But when I want to plan out, when I want to film a video, that's in here. When I want to write down a to-do list for a video, when I want to do overlays, B-roll, and voiceovers, also in here. I don't like to mix that type of information at all because it just complicates things and it makes it a lot harder to know when to write something in here versus when to write something in here. If you're thinking of setting up a separate notebook for something, make sure that topic is very separated from what you use your planner or bullet journal for. That's just gonna help you know when to use each notebook, and then you're gonna be able to better know when to use each notebook, and you're not gonna get confused and they aren't gonna suddenly like merge into the same notebook but in 2 different places and you don't know where to find information. And that actually brings us to the end of the video. That was a brief overview of my YouTube notebook, as I will be calling it. Content notebook, I don't know. What should I call this? YouTube notebook? Does that make sense? Anyway, that is what this notebook looks like, and that is how I've set it up and how I use it with my bullet journal. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions, let me know down below and I would love to chat. And before I go, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe again if you are feeling it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Over and out.